to organize your amazing ideas into a powerful book, you are in the right place.
At the right time to learn how to write your book.
Hi, I'm Joyce Glass.
And I'm Sherry Lynn Bisbano, and welcome to the Right Hour Nonfiction Tips from the Right Coach team. We are so glad you joined us today.
Welcome to episode 1003 of the Right Hour. One of the questions I hear the most is, how do I start a book? Well, in episode 104, it's one of my favorites because I send it to people all the time who ask me this question. It guides them through the 5 steps to make real progress on their book. And maybe this is you or someone you know, but we have something else we've been working on the past few months, and we are so excited to let people know about it. We've created TWC Writing Club, of course that stands for the Right Coach, to help people take the steps they need each month to create progress on their book with a supportive community and the tools to help you succeed as a writer. So if you are interested in joining us, your membership would include a writing training each month, a grammar training each month, help you brush up on your English, make sure you are writing things correctly, and then an audience building training each month as well. Then we'll do a 2-hour group coaching session where you can come and ask your questions live about whatever project you're working on. So if you've been thinking about writing a book or joining a writer's group and you're not sure what to do, this is a place to help you with community and support and training, everything that you need to finish your book, to write it, to get the ideas out on your page. We'll help you with tools for writing. So come check it out. Our trainings begin June 1st, 2020, but we're going to have our first live session next week, May 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to join us, it's $29 a month, which is a steal for all the information you're going to receive and the community support. At therightcoach.biz/club, you can go there to sign up. The link is in the show notes. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to email me at joyce@therightcoach.biz. We look forward to seeing you in the group, and I hope you enjoy this episode replay. Take care. Hello, creatives. Welcome back to episode number 4 of The Right Hour with Joyce Glass, your host. I am so glad to be back, and I'm so glad that you are here. So today we're going to be talking about, you want to write a book. Where do you get started? So let's talk about that. You know, if you were going to fly an airplane, it's overwhelming to start flying an airplane. You've got to figure so many things out, and you've got to have a flight path. You got to make sure everything's working on the plane correctly. You go through a checklist of items before you take off. And then, of course, you have to learn how to fly. So you have a flight instructor who teaches you how to fly. Well, it's the same thing with writing. There are 5 steps that I suggest you take before you start writing your book. It helps if you do these steps in order, but unlike flying an airplane, if you don't do the steps in these order, you will not die. So, nobody's going to get hurt with writing a book, or at least we hope not, right? So, you know, I mentioned before, about 8 years ago, I started blogging, and I enjoyed it because I started sharing my voice with the world. But I didn't have any rhyme or reason for my writing madness. I wrote what popped in my head, placed it on paper, well, really on the screen. Afterward, I edited it to ensure that, you know, the content flow was good. I checked it for grammar, prettied up the format, and hit publish. And while I was writing my first book, I realized I needed a more organized way to place my thoughts into a book. And so after doing different things and beating my head up against the wall, I researched some different methods, and I created one that made sense to me. I created the writing plan. Now, I am not a rigid outline kind of person. I need something to kind of spark my creative juices, but even creative people like us need structure in place to create order from chaos. So as I work with my clients, we go through these 5 steps, and it helps give them clarity for the vision of their book, and it gives them focus on what they're writing for each chapter. And then all of that culminates to help you complete your book. So the first step to start the book inside you is, 1, what is your idea? And you may know this off the top of your head. What do you want to teach or share with others? Is it a story? Is it how to be successful in a certain industry? As Stephen Covey always said, begin with the end in mind. And here's some questions for you to bring some clarity. What do you want the outcome to be for your reader? What do you expect them to learn? What do you want them to feel when they read your book? What do you want them to do after reading your book? And you can actually ask those questions for each chapter. What do you want them to think, feel, or do? Those are great questions to ask for each chapter. So first you're going to go over your idea, and I suggest if you have an idea but you're not sure where to go with it, just do a free write and get those ideas out there. The second thing you're going to do is research. What do other blogs and books and podcasts say about your topic? What do they have? People have a different point of view than most, or what do you want to do differently or better? And is your topic something others will be willing to pay for assistance? Are there enough people interested in your topic? Now, there's some really obscure topics that only maybe a few people might be interested in. But if you're passionate about it and know that, then go for it. But then you might want to find a way that maybe your topic can be included in something else that more people are interested in. There's different ways to go about that. Research it. Figure out what really would work for you. And maybe there's a flood of information on your topic, and I still encourage you to write about it. No one has lived your life or can share your story as you can, and you may resonate with certain people that other people don't. We all have different ways we learn, different ways we teach, and when you share your story and your information or your technique or your system, you may help someone who they've looked at other places, but nothing seemed to really help them. And your story or your system is the one that could help. So always give it a try. Do you want to teach something? You may not know as much as some other people in your field, but you can always strive to instruct what you know to others that aren't as advanced as you. Teach with excellence. Aim to give all you can to your readers. You want to give them as much valuable information as you can. And of course, research is going to help you gain some more credibility and have some more, share stories of other people doing things successfully, or other stories that make a point, that prove the point of what you're trying to share or teach. Number 4 is framework or outline. Now, this is a crucial step in creating your book, and I do this with every single one of my clients. And you want to create a framework or outline because it's going to be like the pilot has a flight plan. This is going to be your flight plan. He needs to know where he's going and decide the path he's going to use to arrive to get there. So if you know where you're going, then you'll be able to figure out the way to get there. And framework is just another way of saying outline. Outlines can take various forms, and like I mentioned earlier, I do not like rigid outlines. I prefer a series of questions to organize my thoughts, and I use something called the 4-step writing plan for all of my writing and professional talks. And the free download for that I offered in the first episode, and there'll be also a link in this episode that in case you didn't get it, there's a 4-week writing plan series that gives you a writing planner and the 4-step writing plan, which is the framework outline that you can create. The writing planner is how you can plan out your time you're writing. And all the instructions are in the download, so I'm not going to go into those details here. So you want, and some people like more details than the outline that I create. And that's great. Fill in those details some more. But this gets you started and gives you a solid place to begin. For me, I don't want too many details because as I write, the other details come out, and I don't have to know every jot and tittle that I want to say. But some people would like more details, and so if you want more details, you keep working on it and putting more details into the framework that I created, making points about it on your subpoints. So, and of course, that will make much more sense when you see the writing plan. There's a place where you can say, how can people do whatever it is that you want them to do? And you share 3 or 4 points on how they can do it. And then under each of those points, if you want to write more details, and sometimes I do that in my writing. Sometimes I do put more details there, or I write notes to remind me when I think of something. I'll put that in the framework outline part of my writing. So number 5 is you're just going to write. This is the step that everybody wants to do first. And it may help you to do this first. Just to, like I said, get your ideas out there. Empty your mind of all those thoughts racing through your brain. And then that will help you use the 4-step writing plan to organize your ideas and make a pattern out of that so that you have some concrete information that you can focus on. Now, my word of warning, do not worry about getting it RIGHT before you WRITE. So don't worry about making it perfect before you write it. Writing and editing are 2 different activities in the brain. When you try to write and edit at the same time, you are hindering your progress, and you can create writer's block for yourself. You block that creative activity because you're trying to do something analytical and creative at the same time. And that will just confuse yourself and frustrate you, and it will take a long, long time. So I suggest you just write it all out one day, or write a whole chapter and then go back and do the editing steps. And we're going to talk about editing steps in a future episode. I think it's episode 5, which I think is the next one. It's episode 6 with Colleen. I'll get my person straight. In episode 6 with Colleen, we'll talk about the steps to editing. So right now, you're going to write. But there's not a writer alive who has written an eloquent first draft. What makes a great writer is knowing how to go back and clean up that beautiful mess and make it into something cohesive and beautiful prose. I love how Lauren Oliver puts it. Don't worry about what you're writing, whether it's good or whether it even makes sense. You just want to get the thoughts out on the page, and then you can go back and make them more organized. You can make it sound better, make your grammar and everything else that you're doing work better. So by utilizing these 5 steps with the 4-step writing plan, there's a lot of steps in there. The 5 steps to get started and the 4-step writing plan, which is your outline, that will propel you to finish your project and get to that finish line. And that is what I want to encourage you to do as the Right Coach, is make sure you get to the finish line. So what step do you need to take today? I would love for you to share the comment on the website at therightcoach.biz, and the link will be in the show notes. And then the last thing, don't forget, I would love for you to do the click to tweet and share it on social media or Facebook. You can see that on the rightcoach.biz site where we have today's show. A great writer knows how to write first, then clean up the beautiful mess into cohesive prose. So there's the click to tweet, and I encourage you to do that. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day, and I will see you next time for the next episode of The Right Hour.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Right Hour. Our goal is to help you achieve your writing dreams.
You are one step closer to write your book.
Learn how to get the book out of your head with the 4 steps we teach our clients. Sign up for the free email series at therightcoach.biz. The link is in the show notes.
The 4 steps help you clarify your focus, create and organize your content, and complete your book. We share tips on the writing process, and you can download the writing planner to track your progress.
Don't let fear and overwhelm keep you from writing your book.
It's time to write your book.